Hello, my dears. This evening, 7th of December, 9 p.m. hour of Oslo, we are here again, me from Oslo, with my second guest for the series Time of the Feminine, Marie Rose Mayele. I hope I spelled it right. Welcome. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining us. And so this is the second interview, and I hope that you are available to see with us live. If not, it will be available in our group as a recorded version of it. So our guest of today, Marie Rose, she is a dancer, and now I also knew is also a singer
Yes.
and an artist practically. And
Mhm.
she speaks about herself in very specific words like brown ancestors dance. And I would like to invite you now to just introduce yourself and speak a little bit about you, about how you see yourself, why you
Well,
wanted to join us.
yeah, how I see myself, it's difficult to see myself. It's difficult to see from the outside and also from the inside, actually. But uh, I'm a woman in the middle of her life. I think I have behind me and in front of me kind of the same years, among the same years. Normally, we'll see. Um, I grew up in Europe, in Brussels, but I was created in Africa. My
Mm.
parents left Africa when I was in the belly of my mom.
Hmm.
So I see myself as a bird, maybe that
Hmm.
left the African womb too early, and I'm kind of getting uh, connected to Africa again. Congo, really the heart of Africa
Hmm.
is where my origins are. And in the same way, the funny thing is that I'm getting in touch with it through European women. Yeah, I worked with a choreographer for many years in Holland. Her name is Wies Bloemen, and she was the one who always liked very much my African side and asked me to dance African dance. I never did a lot. I did not do a lot of African dance in school. I did classical dance and jazz dance and contemporary dance. All the African side is just what I learned during parties of, or maybe what I thought was African dance. It was when I was 15, I also was teaching African dance, although I was not really an African dance teacher, but I had like the feeling of it. So meeting Wies Bloem was important for me. I worked with her 10 years in Holland, and she motivated a lot this hidden side of me, that was this African side, because I feel also very uh, like a coconut, brown outside but inside quite white, because this whole education and the whole way of seeing the world is very Eurocentric. Um, and my dad is white, so in the end I'm also half white. So
Interesting. Yeah,
mm,
I love when the genes are mixing because then the result, and you are a result of a mixture of traditions and cultures and races, is powerful.
mm, yeah. But the thing is, when you grow up in Europe, it's like in a way you feel like you don't you don't have the right to say that you're half African, because in a way you don't know it really, because you grew up here. But of course, there is a whole transmission through the energy of my mom, who was
Hmm.
born there, who grew up there. She was
Hmm.
26, so when she was pregnant of me, when she came to Belgium. But she's 72, so she's lived much more in Belgium than in Africa.
Very
But I have
interesting.
also a very strong grandmother,
Hmm.
Marie Madeleine, so I come from a strong women line. My mother, I'm the oldest of all the kids. My mom is the oldest, and my grandmother is the oldest, and my great grandmother was the oldest. So but my daughter is my third child, so it stopped at me.
Yeah, you kept faithful to the whole
Mm,
lineage.
mm.
Very interesting. And now that you spoke about your ancestors, I was thinking to ask this question later, but I think it would be very interesting now to actually dare to ask you this. I have this feeling that you have a very strong connection, but on a spiritual level, how do you experience this connection with your ancestors? And I'm not necessarily speaking only about your mother or grandmother, but about the whole lineage, including also maybe the male uh, members of this lineage, especially those who belong to the African continent.
Yeah, I come from a matriarchal tribe, so it's women who stayed in the village, and the men followed their women in the village where she was going. So it's very it's my mom's, but it's also connected to the uncles. So the brothers of my mom, the brothers of my grandma, the brothers of my great grandma, they are important in the. But uh, it's a quest that I have started not so long ago. It's 2018 since I started to connect or to feel the connection with my ancestors. Um,
Is there any experience in particular that you can recall, something special?
um, um, I had how do you call it? Um,
You can
when
say
you
it
have
in French,
when you go
a journey.
yeah, a journey
Mhm.
where I went to the wood of that is of my tribe. That my grandmother showed me the wood and
The
said this
forest.
part, the forest is
Yes.
our tribe.
Yes.
And there, I knew that I had seen that in Africa in real life when I was 20. But then when I was 40, I had this journey, and I went to the forest and I asked permission to enter the forest, because all the other times that I went to Africa, I never asked permission. I just went there and
Mhm.
was like this European woman just taking, and then also family asking, begging. So it was this strange European African giver and taker connection, which was, so it was the first time I asked permission to get into the wood and to get some knowledge. And I knew that the mother of my grandfather was a woman who could see the in the future. So she had
She was a clairvoyant.
yes, she was a
Oh,
clairvoyant. So I had contact with her, but it's more in a like in a subtle way, that I feel like being guided, and that there is presence of people protecting me and guiding me, and that it's connected to this tribe.
do they also meet you in dream time?
Not yet.
Mm.
And since I have the connection with them, I did not go to Africa again, but I booked our tickets, and I'm going with my husband and 3 kids in February. We're going, and I'm going to
Mm.
the village and to meet also the the head of the tribe, and they have also contact with the ancestors. So I hope to get some connection there. To
Do you think that you will be involved in some ritual or ceremony that can help
I
uh,
hope, because
develop this
there
connection?
is a big taboo around this, because my mom always said, yeah, this is really dangerous and it's voodoo and it's so I grew up with the thing that in Congo people are bijgelovig, they say in Dutch. It's like you believe in something that is not real. You have the real belief, and then you have the who believe in strange things, and that it's
Mm-hmm.
so there was this very Catholic view on it, that it was not good. So there is a lot of
Mhm.
fear, and a lot of people are, I mean, through my mom, I never had um, connection with it. So I hope to meet people who want to open the things to me. I don't know if it will happen.
Let's hope
Maybe.
they don't open a Pandora box.
It's
Sometimes you don't know what you are opening, right?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I'm
Well,
sure.
I know, I trust that it's that will be guided in to open this powerful thing. It's, I think it's important, because otherwise it's so cut and
Mm. But do you feel somehow that this connection with your ancestor has a relevance or is important also for your children?
yes. Uh, well, being in Africa as a kid is quite powerful. I was there the first time. I was 8 when I went to Congo, and it's, you have this connection with the sand and with nature, and with uh, all the kids of the village are available to play. So this enormous amount of time and friendship is quite and space. You can just walk and go, and parents don't control you like
Mhm.
in the cities here in Europe. So already that energy is quite a thing when you're small. So that's wonderful already. And then my kids are quite white, so I think it's good for them to also live this strong black drop they have in their blood, that is also giving them a lot of strength, physical strength, but also mental strength and energetic
Mm.
strength and protection. So yes, I want them to be connected with it and to realize where they also come from.
Yes, it's always important to know where we're coming from.
Yeah,
That way, it maybe becomes easier to understand where we're going or where we want to go at some point.
yeah. And I think when you feel um, that you are part of Africa, you can also love the beauty of African people, love the beauty of the country, being proud yourself of it, so that there is no shame. But that can also happen when you're half blood or when you don't see your color, that you get ashamed of that little drop of black blood you have in you. I want them to be proud and to feel they belong to it, because I can imagine that even more than me, they sometimes don't feel like they belong, that they have the right to say they belong to Africa. And I want them to say, yes, you belong also to Africa.
Beautiful. This
Mm.
is a good motivation for the legacy. But now that you spoke about being white also, and you in the three words that I asked you to describe yourself in relationship to the feminine, you included brown. So the
Yes.
next question is something about it, and actually it can be what being brown means and how this affects inside yourself the expression of the femininity or of the feminine in your life.
When you're brown, it's not like you feel you're brown. I just feel like a woman, uh, but I know I'm brown.
Do you feel different just for being brown?
mm, I think everybody's different, so you can also be white and feel different. But the outside world puts me in a group. I
Mm.
belong to the group of brownish people. uh, and but true connection with other people doesn't happen through the color. But it's true that when you meet a Black woman or when you talk to a Black woman, she knows and understands some situations and some discriminations and some difficulties or some limits the society puts to us. And I don't have to explain anything to her. She just understands that. So there is a kind of a sisterhood in that way, that you don't need to explain. But then I have many white friends, so it's.
But do you feel that the white female friends, they would not understand so easily as a Black or brown woman?
I don't feel it, but it's more by deduction that I know that you don't know. But I know also that a lot of my friends have a lot of empathy and a lot of try to imagine the thing. So
What is brown femininity or feminine for you?
nappy hair. So I don't want Black women to straight their hair. I don't like that.
It wouldn't be natural.
No, I don't like it when. I like it when you see the color, because some women put products to become lighter. I don't like that. For me, Black femininity is being proud of your color, of your loud voice, loud laugh. But I don't want it neither to be a cliche or a caricature, because there is not only one kind of Black woman. So seeing the situation of the Black woman in the world and the Black, or the history of the Black woman, lot of discrimination, slavery, or the difficulties to have jobs on higher places. I don't know what I wanted to say about that. That I want. Yeah, there is a long road to go. But we need to be proud to study, to write, not only songs, but also books. But Black feminist women are doing that, so it's happening.
Mm. And what is your contribution?
I have a nice music project with a woman who's called Esinam Dogbats, and our project is called Mazima, and it's about two sisters. It's a project for a young audience, but we made these songs together. She made the music, I wrote the lyrics, and it's about sisterhood and about being proud of our being proud and being grateful for Africa.
Beautiful. Very nice. And you said that you're a dancer. Actually, you use dance as a keyword to define yourself. And I would like to know, and probably the others would like to know, what dancing means for you as a woman. What dance brings to you, to your soul?
When I dance really free, without thinking about the codes of beauty, but just following the music or expressing a feeling I have inside, or elongating some parts, or exploring some parts, when I'm just expressing myself totally freely, and I'm kind of concentrated, like following really the movement that is happening, then I can really then it's like a liberation. Yeah. And people can see me, they can watch me, I'm okay with people, but I really love it when it's expression and not performance.
So what the difference would be?
When it's expression, it's really what I'm feeling, what is going on, that I'm translating into movement in a free way. And when I'm performing, then sometimes you maybe change and adapt because someone is watching you, and because you are performing. So I want,
let's say the intention is in the difference,
yeah,
in between
it's
the way
about
you
look at
place an
me with
intention.
more performance, I think, in a way I see it now. But I really, for me, dance, when I really express it in this total free zone where I sometimes can be, then it's yeah, true expression of all the spirals and all the exploration spaces I'm going through when I'm moving. And also with voice, that I'm not like singing a beautiful song, but like exploring all the resonating spaces and exploring the voice, high and low, and maybe like a bear, or not only a beautiful woman singing. No, that's not so interesting anymore.
I suppose because you told me something about it at the beginning before we started, that you also take inspiration from African culture or traditions when
Mm-hmm.
you create an expression through dancing or singing or just emitting sounds, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel? How do you perceive this melange, this mixture? How can you create something new in doing this?
How I perceive it is, sometimes I feel a bit like a thief, that I'm like using African influence, um, uh, because of this thing that I grew up here. So I'm like, but it's not really mine, but I'm using it. I'm like pretending to be also African, but um, but it's also me. So it's a bit a strange thing, strange, like how
It's a
do you?
dark side to understand where begins and starts this legacy, right?
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you have this beautiful or really big African museum in Brussels, and it's really a lot of stolen stuff of Africa. And you don't want to be like that, of course. But but I feel grateful to be a mélange, to be this chameleon that really understands, sometimes the European culture, and then sometimes really the African culture. So I'm really in between two chairs, and really happy to be in between two chairs. It was for a long time, it was difficult when I was small, and when I was here, people were calling me black. When I went back to Africa, when I was 8, people calling me white. So I was like, no. But now I like it to be kind of none of it or all of it.
Let's say that your soul found a way to make peace between white and black or brown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. White and black is brown.
Yeah.
Coffee with milk.
Okay, I will confess something. I'm also a dancer, but not professionally. I love to
Mm-hmm.
move my body, and more than 1 year ago, actually 1 year and a half, I discovered five rhythms.
Mm.
You probably know Gabriel Roth and
Yeah, I've never done it, but I heard about the
Ricky
hybrid.
Verson were the founders. And when I can, I go dancing at least once a week or once 2 weeks. And I also do some workshops like weekend time when they propose something. And I actually found by Eric Iverson there will be an upcoming. I found a flyer about a upcoming workshop here named Sure Footed Magic, Foundation of lyrical being one of the five rhythms. And this style of dancing, as you probably know, is very much embedded into shamanism. And I know that you are also studying with me. We are colleagues in a training on shamanism. But what I want to say, it's a paragraph I found in this flyer that I found quite interesting, and I would like to read it for us, for you, and then maybe you can comment a little bit your own experience around this, because I think it somehow has a lot to do with your message too. So this says like that. The fourth of the five rhythms has a certain undefined quality that can be open to interpretation. Lyrical has been evolving more than the other four rhythms. After the deep release of chaos, lyrical offers a clear energy shift of lighter, uplifting energy. I like to call this sure-footed magic, an active, quick, and agile, expansive ground force reaction. During this investigation, he speaks about the workshop, of course, we will explore and cultivate an energetic journey to weightlessness. That means without
No.
weight, right? How can I maintain my foundation and at the same time create a lightness in my body and my spirit? Let's explore what may interfere or block access to the sensory motor loop of each of us. What body stories have we inherited from family and culture that keep us from transforming and then creating well being? And how can this shift in perception bring us to feel we are more integrated fluid process instead of feeling like a segmented static object? With this shift, we can learn to create a daily practice of finding space for fluidity and nurturing a lighter heart. I move from the ground up, and the community of cellular systems respond. So for me, this was something that came up really like 2 minutes before we entered and in the room and started to speak. And I was like, wow, well, that actually is quite a powerful message.
Mm.
So, and I somehow from this, I can retrieve the same question. And is that what body stories have we inherited from family and culture that keep us from transforming and then creating well-being? What
Feminine or family?
from the family and
Family.
culture. So what do you think about it? Because you have your own experience as a dancer, and then you have this wish to create a mixture of contemporary dancing and performance, and you said releasing techniques. And would you like to speak a little bit more and how you perceive this as a way to create actually a well-being, and as a way to also relate to your roots, to your African and European roots at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of content in that text you wrote. So
I
to
didn't
start.
wrote it. It
No,
was
that
written
you
by
read about. You
Eric
read.
Ilbersen. I just read it. Yeah.
But this sentence I go from the floor up, and my cells react to it.
Yes, respond.
Um,
Yeah, it's
respond.
beautiful.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. What can I say about this? I can say that, for example, this African dance, it's a lot about like the groove or something that you have to. And I remember struggling with that when I was small. And my sister was much better at it, at getting the groove and getting the funkiness and the. Or you had these dances coming from Congo that were popular. And then at parties with African friends, we would try to do them. And she was much better at it than me. But in a way, I think I found my entrance to it. And then there is classical dance. I've done a lot of classical dance, but I don't think when I dance classical that I'm quite classy-ish. So it was also hard to find the groove of classical dance. So jazz dance was more my thing, which is like American. It comes from America and is this mixture of white and black. And I also, at a certain point of my life, I was very into salsa, which I really liked, these Caribbean things. And then at a certain point, I was very much into Oriental dance, which I made also a very nice performance with it, with a belly dancer and me. And then we were two friends, and she was doing contemporary Oriental, and I was doing African Oriental. And we mixed this, and this was this encounter of this friendship of these two girls that were half-half. And now I'm a lot into this Skinner releasing, which is this totally going into the cells of your bones, of your flesh, of your brain. It's more cellular dance, I would say. So it's a total different way of approaching. But when you say that 5 rhythms is also with influenced by shamanism, I did not know that. So that's
Yes,
interesting.
because each of the 5 rhythms represents an element, and is very
Okay.
much the philosophy. Gabrielle Roth, actually, I think she was a shamanistic practitioner too. And the philosophy behind this is the way the combination of these rhythms, the way this combination can actually open our bodies, also the emotional bodies, and release, because it has a very, at least for me and the way I'm experiencing, but I suppose this is also valid for other people. It has quite a, how to say, a content in energetic terms that, and probably also at the psyche level, that is therapeutic and help in readjusting, balancing our energies when we are getting too much into our head, for example, connecting with our emotions, with our body through these rhythms. It's very, very helpful, and you can experience a lot of well-being. Actually, when I do whole weekends, I get out of the room dancing and singing along my way back home, and people look strange to me. This is how it works, because it's really, you feel really good after 2, not more than 3-4 hours of dancing, actually. And yeah, do you think that the type of dance that you also propose can, I suppose that for the moment is more, it's like you are dancing, and maybe many cases someone is watching you, like in a performance, no, as you said. But do you think that this style of dancing or these methods that you learn could also have I don't know, a healing or therapeutic effect on other people just by watching you, or maybe also trying to express
Actually,
as you do?
so I did this. I do follow workshops in these techniques since 2008, and it's now in 2019 for the first time that I'm using it in a quite performish situation with another girl. She has done this technique too, and it's a combination of improvisation, singing, and we have also codes that we say, there we do this, there we do that, and we do it in the not kindergarten, the pre-kindergarten in the care
Oh,
care. So with babies, we've done it for babies now, and
wow.
yeah, and next Wednesday we will do it for babies of kids of 2 and 2.5. And when we did
Wow.
it for the babies, in the beginning they were quite like watching us and being very, but then at this moment they were also trying, yeah, moving or being inspired by the so we're using it now with really, or using it, we're like playing with it with really small children, but it's like new. We've done it two
Hmm.
times and we're going to do it the third time. But I'm sure it has influence, because when you watch dance, they say you dance, that your body with your head, the fact of seeing it, your body does it also, is also dancing. Watching dance is the same as dancing.
Yes, it's
So,
you get stimuli
yeah,
in the brain probably, and
and
yeah.
if we can manage to be really truthful to these images we have in our heads that make us move, then I think it can also have a therapeutic effect for us, of course, first of all, and then also for the watcher. And maybe if babies are watching, it's not therapeutic. I hope they're quite still sane and whole. It's more like stimulating, I would say.
But it can increase the level of well-being, the
Yes,
happiness, and the
well-being and
playfulness.
motoric well-being, playfulness, openness, dare to move and dare to explore the space and to explore your own body. Yeah.
So these workshops that you also said that you proposed or work with were like kind of exploratory, or
Yeah, it's a new proposal we do here in town, and probably if everything goes right, we have funding to do it in many kindergartens and many schools for the next 3 years. So we're still waiting for the answer. I don't know if you know, but in Belgium now, culture is they're cutting a lot of money, and so it's
I've heard. I have
really
another
hard
friend
time.
who is a singer who lives in Brussels,
Yeah, it's
Krista, and she was yeah, upset.
so
Yeah.
sad. It's such a sad decision. But
Well,
maybe this is going, our project is going to be funded, probably. We're still waiting for the last yes. But then we will be able to do a lot of explorations, not only us, but ask other artists, movers and visual artists, to do artistic exploration in the spaces of the babies and the kindergartens, young children from 0 till 4 or 5.
hmm. And did you also think about maybe creating space also for mothers with children together to assist
Yeah.
to this?
So it would
Yes.
be like 4 times for when we will do it for several groups, and the it will be 4 times, 3 times in the place where they are in the daycare,
Mm-hmm.
1 time in a natural place close to the daycare, so a park or a little garden or something, because
Hmm.
it's in the city, and then one in a cultural center in the near to the daycare, and there it would be open to families, also families and brothers
Hmm.
and sisters and grandmothers. And so
How or do you see in this initiative also an attempt to create more community or to foster community?
yes, I am very much into create connections between cultures, between generations, between neighbors, between, with through art or with the help of art.
Yeah, this is beautiful. We all should dream for this
Mm,
society where we can create this
yeah,
through our work or through our passions.
yeah, yeah. That's, I think
Beautiful.
actually now I'm describing my work like that. Like I'm singing and dancing and creating artistic projects to create connections, and I also want to stimulate people in developing their talent and discovering and developing, getting the opportunities to develop their talents.
Beautiful.
Mm.
We still have 3 minutes or 4 minutes left, so there is maybe one last question.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but your ancestors from, you said Congo,
Mm.
came again to me. I have some strange connections to ancestors in general because of this training also and work I'm doing in family constellation. And they sometimes come to me in very odd ways that I still need to understand. But anyway, if they come, it's because they need to come. And they have a question for you.
Mm.
And I'm not sure how to ask this question. I will try to be synthetic, somehow short. But I think they feel that they can be proud of you, but they would like to know if you are proud of yourself and how your pride can be expressed, your pride and connection to them can be expressed in your own, I don't know, dancing, singing, every way of expression. What you can bring back to them through who you are today.
Mm. What can I bring back to them?
Or give back somehow, although they don't actually need, but in a symbolic way.
Mm.
Connect with your heart. Connect
Yeah,
with your heart.
yeah. What came up to me is like I'm so grateful, so grateful of all this. I just got like immediately when I was born, like created in Congo and then born here, and this mom who this whole print that was just given to me and that I did not even need to go to school or anything. It was just there. Um,
Would you have a message for them now?
yeah, that they're so beautiful. They're so rich. What I can bring back is, I think I can bring pride back. Being proud of this whole thing. There is this strange thing in Congo that people think what comes from Europe is better. So
Civilization, humankind started in Africa, not in Europe.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going back with empty hands and with a big thank you. And the CD is just finished with this project, this Afro project with this friend. I'm gonna give it to friends and to let them listen to the music that was inspired by them and in a way created also by them.
Beautiful. I think they got the message.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And yes,
Good.
they gave you a lot, but you are grateful, and this is the only thing that matters and that you can give back.
Mm.
Cherish this inheritance and everything you received for free.
Yeah, for free.
It's
Just
a big gift.
mm.
Yeah. So I feel that now we are towards the end of our interview,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a very interesting and rich interview. Also with some emotional sides that I really love when this happens.
Mm.
That means that we are true and authentic. Do you want to say a last word to our sisters in the group?
That I think it's really important that we as women connect with each other, because we are very strong, strong hearts, and to be real sisters, and connect with each other without jealousy, but by empowering each other's power.
Yes, I agree. We are growing as women and as
Yeah, and
sisters
I'm really
when we
grateful
do
you
this.
invited me for this interview. I was really touched by it, by the
Thank you.
proposal, and I'm happy to have
Yeah.
to get to know you a little bit by talking like this.
Yeah, maybe we will meet in the future.
Normally we
Mm.
meet in
Yeah.
the summer.
Yes. Thank you again, Marie Rose, and I wish you the best of luck with your projects and with this journey you will have now back to one of the places that you are coming from. I'm sure it will be an amazing experience, and I'm sure you will find more answers and messages from the ancestors there. And I salute you and all the others that will listen. Uh, I will make this available in a short while. And blessed be your heart and blessed be your womb. Thank you. Bye.